I used to feel like I was behind in life. Not a little bit, I mean properly behind. Like everyone else had figured something out and I hadn't. I'd look at people around me and think, how are they already there? And I'm still here. They had their own place, they were progressing in their careers and they were building something. And I was just trying to figure out what to do. And the worst part is, it didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I was working and I was trying. It wasn't like I was just wasting time, but I still felt like I'd missed something. Like everyone else had figured something out that I hadn't. And that feeling sticks with you because it's not just a thought, it's a constant nagging pressure in the background. Am I doing enough? Am I wasting time? Have I messed something up? And for a long time, I didn't question that feeling. I just accepted it as a fact. But eventually, something didn't quite add up with it. Because when I actually looked at the people I was comparing myself to, I realised something really simple. A lot of them were ahead of me in very specific ways, but not in everything. And more importantly, they weren't living the same life as me. And I think this is the real reason we feel behind. It's not because we actually are, it's because we're constantly measuring ourselves against people who are playing a completely different game to us. They have different goals, different priorities, and a different timeline for their lives. But we ignore all of that and just compare the results. So of course it feels like you're behind, because you're comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's middle or even their ending. And the dangerous part is, the more you believe you're behind, the more pressure you end up putting on yourself to catch up. And that's where it gets really exhausting, because you're not just living your life anymore, you're chasing after somebody else's. And I think this is where we get it wrong. Because when you step back and look at it properly, we already understand this in other areas of our lives. If you go swimming now and then, or maybe you're just learning, you wouldn't compare yourself to an Olympic swimmer because, well, that's their entire life. That's what they do every single day and they train for it. So of course you're not at the same level as them. Why would you expect to be? And you probably never will be, unless that's something you decide to fully commit to and put a lot of time into. So comparing yourself to them would feel ridiculous. But when it comes to life, we do exactly that. We compare our everyday progress to people who are on completely different paths to us. And I've done this in similar ways too, even things like driving. When people around you are already driving and perhaps you're not, it feels like you're behind. Like you should have done it already. But again, there's so many reasons why someone might be ahead in something like that. And the way I see it, you've got two choices. You can look at it and think, what's the point in even trying? I'm too far behind. Or you can use that as motivation. And I actually think this is more important than perhaps you even realise. Because being around people who seem to be ahead of you, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes that's the exact push you need to take that next step. But you need to manage your expectations. Because if you try and force yourself to match someone else's pace when it doesn't really fit in with your life, you will just burn out. You end up stuck in that constant loop of, I should be doing more. I should be further ahead. I should be better. And that pressure just drains you. Then you do end up being behind. Whereas if you take the time to just step back, you'll realise something. You're not actually behind. You're just measuring yourself against the wrong timeline. Everything starts to feel a bit lighter then. Because you stop chasing someone else's version of success. You try and work out what your own is and start focusing on it. And the truth is, there are things that you are ahead in that other people wish they were better at. You just can't see it from your perspective. Because perhaps you're too focused on what you haven't done yet or what other people have done. But someone else could be looking at your life thinking, I wish I was there. And that's the part that we forget. Everybody feels behind in something. It's completely normal. So if you feel like you're behind right now, I honestly don't think you are. I think you've been looking at your life the wrong way, perhaps for a long time. You've been measuring it against people who were never supposed to be measuring it against. And that will always make you feel like you're losing. Because no matter what you do, someone will always be ahead in something. Someone will always be better at the thing that you enjoy. But that doesn't mean you're behind. You're going at your own pace, and it just means that your life is different to theirs. And the sooner you stop trying to catch up to everyone else, the sooner you can start moving forward with your own life in a way that feels right for you. And that's when I think it really starts to click. If this hits home for you, you're not the only one. And if you want more like this, you're in the right place.